Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Mind, Money, Soul. And today I've got a very exciting podcast because, as you all know, I talk a lot about investing in the stock market as a good way to build your wealth. Some other ways are investing in property, investing in business. And today's episode, we're going to talk about investing in precious metals. We're going to talk about the how, the why, and the what. And I'm very excited to announce that this episode has been sponsored by the Royal Mint, who have been the trusted home to precious metals for over 1,100 years. Big slay. Now, when they came to me to discuss this topic, I was really excited for a couple of reasons. One, they are also very passionate about helping women to start investing and about closing the investing gender gap. So I was like, yeah, so on board for this. Currently, 26% of their customer base are female, but they are aiming to get this up to 50%, which we love. And also, I have learned so much about investing in precious metals, doing the research for this episode, because when I was doing my research, I was surprised by how easy it was. And obviously I love bringing new education to you all, also to myself. And look, I've had people say to me, especially over the last year really, look into investing in gold, look into investing in gold. And it was always one of those things that I kind of just was nah, seems too hard, seems like it's not for me, seems, all those things that you do when you don't really understand something or you don't really think it's for you. And I've sat and gone through and understood why we do it, how to do it. It's very powerful. And I'm really, really excited to talk to you all about it today. So let's get into it. Now, first off, as we know, there is a huge investing gender gap, and I'm really passionate about empowering women to start investing in a way that works for them. And I like to talk about all the different ways to invest, but one of the biggest barriers to entry for women investing is risk and knowledge. Apparently, there's a stat that says women are 45% more likely than men to feel hesitant to start or to expand their investment portfolio because of a lack of investment knowledge. So hopefully by listening to this podcast episode, reading up on the Royal Mint website, and I'll talk a little bit more about them in a bit, you can diversify your knowledge and also your portfolio. This episode is purely going to be about the education around the power of investing in precious metals. So let's first off talk about, what does it even mean to invest in precious metals? Now, precious metals are basically gold, silver and platinum, and very much similar to investing in the stock market, where you are swapping your cash for an asset. Instead of swapping your cash for stocks, shares, funds, bonds, you're just swapping it for the asset of platinum, silver or gold. And precious metals have been seen as a safe haven investment for many investors, especially during times of economic uncertainty. So this is why it can be so amazing to invest in precious metals. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the history of gold. Now, I personally found this very interesting and fascinating because gold has been around for a really, really long period of time. And Egyptians were apparently the first people to use it as a form of currency back in 4000 BC. That is a very long time ago. And it's seen as a symbol of power and wealth. And it's not only the Egyptians that have used it as a form of currency. Loads of other people, I don't even know what you say, eras, people throughout time have used gold as a form of currency. And it's always been recognised as a valuable asset. Now, what is amazing is that basically gold doesn't corrode, and it's easily, or it can be melted quite easy over a common flame, which means it's really easy to work with, and it's really easy to stamp into a coin. So that's why gold is so amazing. But the thing is, it's very rare. So the Royal Mint website says gold is so rare that the world produces more steel in 1 hour than it has poured gold since the beginning of recorded history. Let that sink in. When I read that fact, I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. And another thing is that people see gold or always have seen gold as a way to pass on wealth from one generation to the next. So in many religions and cultures, the women will hold on to their gold jewelry, which retains its value, and they will pass it down to their daughters and their granddaughters as a way of passing down wealth. Now, I always honestly just thought that this passing on of gold jewelry was more sentimental and emotional, I had it, now you've got it. But it's actually a way to retain your wealth and to pass it down through generations. How amazing is that? Why invest in precious metals? Now, first off, I mean, a lot of you will probably know this, but investing in general is, we do it because of inflation. Now, inflation eats into the buying power of your money. So when you hold it in cash, you are literally losing the purchasing power of your money year on year. When you invest and you swap your cash for an asset, that asset increases, or you expect it to increase over time and in value, and you then retain the buying power of that money. You're essentially beating inflation, but it also then actually helps you to build wealth. So you're putting your money to work instead of it being sat in a bank account losing its value. So that's why we invest in general. But now, why do we invest, or why would we consider investing in precious metals? 3 reasons. 1, it is a safe haven investment. 2, for wealth building, and 3, for diversification. So number 1, it being a safe haven asset, it's precious metals are proven to beat inflation, especially during uncertain times. And then wealth building.
Did you know that the value of gold has increased by 800% from 2004 to 2024? So in the space of 20 years, it has increased by 800%. That is so crazy to me.
When I found that out, I was like, big snaps for gold. And then finally, diversification. Now, as we know, it's really important to have a balanced portfolio, and it's going to help you balance out market volatility. So basically what it means is to not put all of your eggs in one basket, and it's giving you another string to your investment portfolio bow. Basically, the aim is to spread your risk and avoid overexposure in any one particular asset. So essentially, if you had all of your money tied up in one property, even though regardless of what the property value is or how it's doing, that is in one asset. If you had all of your money tied up in one stock, it's obviously all in just one thing, so you've got all of your eggs in one basket, right? So by having multiple investments in different asset classes, you are spreading your risk and you are diversifying your portfolio. So it's going to help you over the long term to build wealth in a safer way. Now, before I talk about some of the things to consider when buying precious metals, and also some tips for getting started, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Royal Mint. Now, they basically offer a wide range of precious metal investment options for all types of investors, regardless of the size of your portfolio. So gold is very easy to buy and sell. It's got a track record for returns over the long term and is valued by investors all over the world as a way of balancing risk against other investments such as stocks and shares. The Royal Mint now offers a range of gold investment options for both physical gold, such as gold bars and coins, and digital products such as DigiGold, making it easier than ever to invest in precious metals. And they also have a wide range of educational guides online to help you understand more about this topic, which I very recommend you check out. So I'll pop a link in the show notes. So as I mentioned, there are some different ways that you can invest in gold. You've got the physical gold and then you've got the digital gold. Now, physical gold, you have coins and bars mainly. They're available in a range of different sizes, a range of different designs, but basically the coins are cheaper than the bars because they are basically a bit smaller. But the coins give you an opportunity to get started without needing loads of money up front. So you don't need a large sum of cash because coins are a little bit cheaper to purchase. So essentially it's a great way of getting started. The coins are just a little bit cheaper than the bars. But they are the physical gold options. Then you have digital gold, which I found this concept fascinating and so interesting. But basically you can purchase gold without the physical ownership, so without having the physical gold, and you can get started with DigiGold with literally £25. Crazy. So much like investing in the stock market, the barriers to entry are really low. You don't have to have a large sum of money up front. You can get started with literally a small amount of money. So how amazing is that? Now, some things to consider when you are investing in precious metals is liquidity, storage and insurance, and taxes. Good old taxes. So liquidity. What we know is that liquidity is essentially how easy it is to sell off your investments and turn it back into cash. And precious metals are seen as highly liquid. Who would have thought? So they're pretty easy to sell. But some things to consider before selling your physical gold are the metal's authenticity. the precious metals authenticity or the gold's authenticity, and making sure that you get a fair price. So that's when you're selling physical gold. But if you use the Royal Mint to buy digigold, it's even easier. It's even easier to sell off. What a dream. Okay, then storage and insurance. You basically need somewhere to store your gold. So when you have the physical gold, when you've got this coin, when you've got this bar, whatever it is you've got, you have to store it somewhere. Now, you can store it at home, but obviously you need to think about the threat of theft or damage. Like, you don't want a burglar come into the house and steal all your gold. You don't want something to happen to the house and then your gold to, I don't know, go missing, get damaged. So you either need to think about getting it insured or paying for professional storage. So they are two options in how you can store and insure your gold. And then finally is taxes. Now in the UK, any gold coins that are produced by the Royal Mint are exempt from capital gains tax, which is interesting. So basically, you don't pay any tax on the interest that you make from the value of your gold or your precious metal going up over time. So you're not going to pay any tax on the interest, which is great. However, some other forms of gold and silver and platinum can be subject to tax. So you basically just need to know what you're investing in and what the tax implications are for that. Okay, so I'm going to give you my 4 top tips for getting started with investing in gold and precious metals. Now, number 1 is please ensure that you do not put all of your money into precious metals. Just the same as any other kind of asset, you do not want to have all of your cash in this asset class. Now, many experts, including the World Gold Council, who knew there was a World Gold Council, suggest putting around 2 to 10% of your portfolio into a safe haven investment, such as gold. Number 2, patience is key. As we know, time in the market when it comes to the stock market is the best thing, and it's going to be the same with investing in precious metals. You need to think long term. There is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. You're not just going to transfer and convert all of your cash into gold and then suddenly you're going to be a millionaire. That's not how it works. We're thinking long term wealth building, so patience is really important. Number 3 is you want to start small. Don't feel like you have to just do it all at once. Same with any other investments. Your capital is always at risk, and it's really important that you know what you're investing into, you've done your own due diligence, and that you're only investing what you can afford to put away for a long period of time or what you can afford to lose. And when I say lose, what this essentially means is that you're not investing money that you need for survival or to pay your bills. Obviously, none of us want to lose any money, but I mean, make sure that you've got an emergency fund, make sure that you're not spending all the money that you have. Just start small and build it up over time as you get more confident with investing in precious metals. And the last one, educate yourself. As we all know, knowledge is power, and the more that you know and understand about your options, how it all works, how it can benefit you, the more confident you are going to feel in building wealth using precious metals. It can be an absolutely amazing way to balance out your portfolio, have another asset class. So it's really something to consider. But once you've done your education, and you can literally get started with a very small amount. So I hope this has been a really interesting episode. I know that I found it really interesting when I was researching, and I got very excited about doing this episode and bringing it to you all. Now, if you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, you can go directly to the Royal Mint website, where they've got a ton of educational guides, blogs, articles that you can read and you can check out. And just remember that investing should be an element of your financial plan, and like I said, do your own research. So once you've listened to this, if you're like, that excites me, I find that interesting, go and do your research, go and check it out, start small, and just take it from there. But if you have any questions, please feel free to slide into my DMs or drop me an email. Thank you so much to the Royal Mint for sponsoring this episode. And I know I'm going to go and get involved in a little bit of investing in precious metals, and let me know if you do too. I would be interested to hear about your journey. See you all next week.